The Pearl, by John Steinbeck audiobook. Setting. Steinbeck began writing the story as a movie script in 1944 and first published it as a short story called The Pearl of the World in Woman's Home Companion in December 1945. The original publication is also sometimes listed as The Pearl of La Paz. He expanded it to novella length and published it under the name The Pearl by Viking Press in 1947. As he was writing the novella version, he was frequently traveling to Mexico where the film version, co-written with Jack Wagner, was being filmed. The film was also released by RKO in 1947 as a co-promotion with the book. The Pearl was loosely adapted in 2001 for a film directed by Alfredo Zacharias and starring Lucas Haas and Richard Harris, which was released directly to video in 2005. The Pearl characters. Number 1 lists Kino, a prototypical Mexican Indian who works as a pearl diver. He begins the story as a devoted father and husband to Koyatido and Juana, respectively. Kino is the central character of the story, Everman who finds himself becoming increasingly violent, paranoid, and defiant as he faces opposition from others after he finds the pearl, and resorts to assaulting Juana and murdering those who threaten him. Number 2, Juana. The mother of Koyatido and the wife of Kino, Juana is, as her name suggests, the representation of woman for Steinbeck in the story. She dutifully supports her husband, despite his worsening treatment of her, but warns him against the dangers that the pearl can bring to the family. Juana remains steadfast throughout the story and devoted to maintaining her family. She even refuses to obey Kino when he suggests that they take separate paths to avoid the trackers. Number 3, Koyotito, the infant son of Kino and Juana. After he is stung by a scorpion, the doctor refuses to treat him because his parents have no money. Although Juana seemingly cures him with a seaweed poultice, he receives treatment from the doctor only after Kino finds the pearl. When Kino and Juana are hunted by trackers after escaping La Paz, one of the trackers shoots Koyatito in the head as they hide in a cave. Number 4, the doctor, a fat, complacent man who is not from the same race as Kino and Juana. He refuses to treat Koyatito for a scorpion sting when Kino and Juana cannot pay enough. However, once he learns that Kino has found the pearl of the world, he treats the healed Koyatito after leading Kino and Juana to believe that Koyatito may suffer unseen consequences from the bite. Seemingly interested in stealing the pearl, the doctor is not of the same race as Kino and Juana and longs for his days in Paris. This recording was done by Online Hub Technologies. For more information, visit www.onlinehub.co.key. Introduction. The Pearl is a novella by American author John Steinbeck, first published in 1947. It is the story of a pearl diver, Kino, and explores man's nature as well as greed, defiance of societal norms, and evil. Steinbeck's inspiration was a Mexican folk tale from La Paz, Baja California Sur, Mexico, which he had heard in a visit to the formerly pearl-rich region in 1940. In 1947, it was adapted into a Mexican film named La Perla, and in 1987 into a cult Canada movie Ondu Matina Cave. The story is one of Steinbeck's most popular books and has been widely used in high school classes. Summary. Number 5, Apollonia. The fat wife of Juan Tomás, Apollonia allows Kino and Juana to hide in her house after Kino murders a man in self-defense. Number 6, Juan Tomás. The brother of Kino and the husband of Apollonia. He warns Kino against the disastrous consequences that he faces from finding the pearl. Juan Tomás hides Kino and Juana in his house after Kino murders a man in self-defense. Book analysis by chapters. Chapter 1. Kino awakes and watches the hanging box where his infant son, Koyatito, sleeps. He then watches his wife, Juana, who has also awakened and rests peacefully. Kino thinks of the song of the family, a traditional song of his ancestors, as the dawn comes and Juana begins to prepare breakfast. Kino's ancestors had been great makers of songs, and everything they saw or thought had become a song. Juana sings softly to Koyotito, part of the family song. Kino looks at them and thinks that this is safety, this is warmth, this is the whole. Kino sees a movement near the hanging box where Koyotito sleeps. A scorpion moves slowly down the rope supporting the box. Kino thinks of the song of evil, the music of the enemy, as the song of the family cries plaintively. Kino stands still, ready to grasp the scorpion, but Koyotito shakes the rope and the scorpion falls on him. Kino reaches to catch it, but it falls onto the baby's shoulder and strikes. Kino grabs the scorpion and kills it as Koyotito screams in pain. Juana begins to suck the puncture to remove the poison. Having heard the baby's screams, Kino's brother, Juan Tomás, and his fat wife Apollonia enter with their children. Juana orders them to find a doctor. The doctor never comes to their cluster of brush houses, so Juana decides to go to the doctor herself. The event becomes a neighborhood affair, for Juan Tomás and Apollonia accompany them, and even the beggars in front of the church follow Juana as she marches toward the doctor. Kino feels weak as he approaches the doctor's home, for the doctor is not of his race and thus believes that Kino's people are simple animals. Kino tells the doctor's servant that his child was poisoned by a scorpion. The doctor is a fat man who longs for civilized living. Although the doctor is at home, he refuses to treat Koyotito unless he knows that he has money. The servant asks if Kino has money, and when he can only offer small seed pearls, the servant tells Kino that the doctor has gone out. Kino strikes the gate with his fist, splitting his knuckles. Chapter 2. Kino and Juana walk slowly down the beach to Kino's canoe, the one thing of value that he owns. The canoe is old, bought by Kino's grandfather, and is the source of food for Kino. It is their most important possession, for a man with a boat can guarantee a woman that she will eat something. Koyotito still suffers from the scorpion bite. The swelling on his shoulder continues up his neck and his face is puffed and feverish. Juana makes a poultice from brown seaweed. Kino and Juana get into the canoe so that Kino can find pearl oysters that may pay for the treatment for Koyotito. Kino dives for pearl oysters, where he thinks of the song of the pearl that might be and the song of the undersea. Kino works steadily under the water until he sees a large oyster lying by itself with its shell partly open, revealing what seems to be a massive pearl. Kino forces the oyster loose and holds it tightly against him. The pearl, which takes place in La Paz, Mexico, begins with a description of the seemingly idyllic family life of Kino, his wife Juana, and their infant son, Koyotito. Kino watches as Koyotito sleeps, but sees a scorpion crawl down the rope that holds the hanging box where Koyotito lies. Kino attempts to catch the scorpion, but Koyotito bumps the rope and the scorpion falls on him. Although Kino kills the scorpion, it still stings Koyotito. Juana and Kino, accompanied by their neighbors, go to see the local doctor, who refuses to treat Koyotito because Kino cannot pay. When Kino comes up for air, Juana can sense his excitement. Kino opens the various oysters he had caught, leaving the largest one for last. He worries that the large pearl he saw was merely a reflection, for in this gulf of uncertain light there are more illusions than realities. Finally, Kino opens the oyster to see a rich, perfectly curved pearl. Juana lifts the poultice of seaweed from Koyotito to see that the swelling has begun to recede. Kino puts back his head and howls, causing the men in other canoes to look up and race toward Kino's canoe. Chapter 3. The news of the pearl travels fast through Kino's small village. Before Kino and Juana return home, the news had already spread that Kino had found the pearl of the world, as it comes to be known. The local priest learns, as well as the doctor who refused to treat Koyotito. When the doctor learns, he tells the patient that he must treat Koyotito for a scorpion sting. All manner of people grow interested in Kino, and the news stirs up something infinitely black and evil. The pearl buyers consider how they might deal with Kino, and offer him the lowest possible price. However, Kino and Juana do not know the anger and bitterness they have engendered. Juan Thomas asks Kino what he will do now that he has become rich, and Kino answers that he and Juana will be married in the church. Kino envisions how he will be dressed, and sees Koyatido in a yachting cap and sailor suit from the United States. Kino then imagines buying a rifle. Thinking of the rifle breaks down barriers for Kino, as he imagines the whole lot of things that he might have. He thinks that Koyotito will go to school and learn to read. He claims that my son will make numbers, and these things will make us free because he will know, and through him we will know. The priest visits Kino and Juana, and tells them that he hopes that they will remember to give thanks and to pray for guidance. The doctor also visits, and although Kino tells him that Koyotito is nearly well, the doctor claims that the scorpion sting has a curious effect that comes later, and if he is not treated he may suffer blindness or a withered leg. Not sure whether or not the doctor is telling the truth, Kino nevertheless lets him see the baby. The doctor takes a bottle of white powder and a gelatin capsule and gives Koyotito a pill. The doctor tells them that the medicine may save the baby from pain, but he will come back in an hour to check on him. After the doctor leaves, Kino wraps the pearl in a rag and digs a hole in the dirt floor where he conceals the pearl. When the doctor returns, he gives Koyotito water with ammonia and tells Kino that the baby will get well now. Kino tells the doctor that he will pay him once he has sold his pearl. The neighbors tell the doctor that Kino has found the pearl of the world and will be a rich man. The doctor suggests that Kino keep the pearl in his safe, but Kino says that he has it secure. The doctor realizes that Kino will likely look to the place where it is stored, and sees his eyes move to the corner where he had buried it. After the doctor leaves again, Juana asks Kino whom he fears, and he answers everyone. That night, Kino thinks that he hears noises in his hut. He grabs his knife and strikes out in the dark. The person scurries out. Juana tells Kino that the pearl is evil and will destroy them. She tells him to throw it away or break it, for it will destroy them. Kino says that the pearl is their one chance, and that the next morning they will sell the pearl. Chapter 4. In La Paz, the entire town knew that Kino was going to sell the pearl that day. Kino's neighbors speak of what they might do with the pearl. One man says that he would give it as a present to the Pope, while another said he would buy masses for the souls of his family for 1,000 years, while another thought he would distribute it among the poor of La Paz. Everyone worries that the pearl will destroy Kino and Juana. Before leaving to sell the pearl, Juan Thomas warns Kino and Juana to get the best price for the pearl, and tells him how their ancestors got an agent to sell their pearls, but this agent ran off with the pearls. Kino had heard the story told as a warning of punishment against those who try to leave their station. Kino and Juana, followed by neighbors, reach the offices of the pearl buyers. The pearl dealer inspects the pearl and tells him that his pearl is like fool's gold, for it is too large and valuable only as a curiosity. Kino cries out that it is the pearl of the world, and no one has ever seen such a pearl. The dealer offers 1,000 pesos, to which Kino says that it is worth 50,000 and the dealer wants to cheat him. The dealer tells Kino to ask the others around him. Kino can feel the evil around him as other dealers inspect the pearl. One dealer refuses the pearl altogether, while a second dealer offers 500 pesos. Kino tells them that he will go to the capital. The dealer offers 1,500 pesos, but Kino leaves with the pearl. Kino and Juana leave the doctors and take Koyotito down near the sea, where Juana uses a seaweed poultice on Koyotito's shoulder, which is now swollen. Kino dives for oysters from his canoe, attempting to find pearls. He finds a very large oyster, which, when Kino opens it, yields an immense pearl, which Kino therefore dubs the pearl of the world. Kino puts back his head and howls, causing the other pearl divers to look up and race toward Kino's canoe. That night, the townspeople argue whether Kino should have accepted the money, which was still more than he would have ever seen. Kino buries the pearl again that night and remains terrified at the world around him. Juan Thomas tells Kino that he has defied not only the pearl buyers, but the whole structure of life, and he fears for his brother. Juan Thomas warns him that he treads on new ground. Juan Thomas reminds Kino that his friends will protect him only if they are not in danger, and tells him go with God before he departs. In the middle of the night, Kino feels a sense of evil from outside of his brush house, and he prepares to wield his knife. Kino steps outside to see if there are prowlers. Juana can hear noise from outside, so she picks up a stone and steps out of their hut. She finds Kino with blood running down his scalp and a long cut in his cheek from ear to chin. Juana once again tells Kino that the pearl is evil and they must destroy it. Kino insists that he will not be cheated, for he is a man. Chapter 5. Kino senses movement near him, but it is only Juana who arises silently from beside him. Kino sees her near the hanging box where Koyatido lay, and then watches her go out the doorway. Kino begins to feel a great sense of rage as he hears her footsteps going toward the shore. Juana is going to throw the pearl back into the ocean. Kino chases Juana, then strikes her in the face with his clenched fist and kicks her in the side. He then turns away from her and walks up the beach. Juana knows that when Kino said that he is a man, he meant that he was half insane and half God, and knows as a woman that the mountain would stand while the man broke himself, that the sea would surge while the man drowned in it. While walking on the beach, men accost Kino in search of the pearl, which is knocked from his hand and lands on the pathway. Juana soon sees Kino limping toward her with a stranger whose throat has been slit. She finds the pearl for Kino and tells him that they must go away before daylight. Kino says that he struck to save his life, but Juana says that this does not matter. He orders her to get Koyatido and all of the corn they have. Kino finds his canoe with a splintered hole in the bottom. He rushes home to find Juana and Koyatido, but Juana tells Kino that their house was torn up and the floor dug, and someone set fire to the outside. Juana and Koyatido go to Juan Thomas and Apollonia. When Kino tells about the man he has killed, Juan Thomas says that it is the pearl and he should have sold it. Kino begs his brother to hide them until nightfall. Kino tells Juan Thomas that he will head north. Kino says that he will not give up the pearl, because if I give it up I shall lose my soul. Chapter 6. As Kino and Juana travel northward, Kino feels a sense of exhilaration along with his fear. They walk all night and rest during the day so that they may not be found, and attempt to cover their tracks so that they cannot be followed easily. Kino warns Juana that whoever finds us will take the pearl, but Juana wonders whether the dealers were right and the pearl has no value. Kino says that they would not have tried to steal it if it were not valuable. Kino repeats what they will have once they sell the pearl: the church wedding, the rifle, education for Koyatido. When they stop to rest during the day, Juana does not sleep and Kino stirs as he dreams. When they hear noises from the distance, Kino orders Juana to keep Koyatido quiet. While Juana hides, Kino moves through the brush to see what he heard, and notices in the distance 3 bighorn sheep trackers, one of whom is on horseback. Kino realizes that if the trackers find them, he must leap for the horseman, kill him, and take his rifle. As the horseman passes by Kino, he does not notice him. Kino and Juana both realize that if the trackers find them, they will kill them to get the pearl. Kino and Juana escape into the mountains, not bothering to cover their tracks. Kino orders Juana and Koyatido to leave him, for he can go faster alone, but she staunchly refuses. Kino and Juana take a zigzag path in order to thwart the trackers and eventually find a small stream and the entrance to a cave. Kino tells Juana to hide in the cave, and he fears that Koyatido will cry, alerting the trackers. While hiding in the cave, Kino finds that the trackers are by the stream. So that he will not be seen, Kino takes off his white clothing and stealthily creeps near them as they rest. The trackers can hear Koyatido, but think that it is merely a coyote pup. As the tracker prepares to shoot what he thinks is a coyote, Kino approaches the trackers and pounces on them. He grabs one of the tracker's rifle and shoots him between the eyes, and stabs another with his knife. The third tracker escapes up the cliff toward the cave, but Kino shoots him. Kino stands silently and hears nothing but the cry of death. Koyatido has been shot. The news that Kino has found an immense pearl travels fast through La Paz. The doctor who refused to treat Koyatido decides to visit Kino. Kino's neighbors begin to feel bitter toward him for his good fortune, but neither Kino nor Juana realizes this feeling they have engendered. Juan Tomás, the brother of Kino, asks him what he will do with his money, and he envisions getting married to Juana in a church and dressing Koyatido in a yachting cap and sailor suit. He claims that he will send Koyatido to school and buy a rifle for himself. Kino and Juana arrive back in La Paz. He carries a gun while she carries her shawl with a limp, heavy bundle. Their return to La Paz becomes a notable event. There may be some old ones who saw it, but those whose fathers and whose grandfathers told it to them remember it nevertheless. It is an event that happened to everyone. Juana appears hardened and tight with fatigue. Kino thinks of the song of the family, which has become his battle cry. As they return to La Paz, nobody speaks to them, and even Juan Tomás cannot bear to say a word. Kino and Juana approach the Gulf, and in the surface of the pearl Kino remembers seeing Koyatido lying in the cave with his head shot away. Kino throws the pearl into the ocean. The local priest visits and tells Kino to remember to give thanks and to pray for guidance. The doctor also visits, and although Koyatido seems to be healing, the doctor insists that Koyatido still faces danger and treats him. Kino tells the doctor that he will pay him once he sells his pearl, and the doctor attempts to discern where the pearl is located. Kino has buried it in the corner of his hut. That night, a thief attempts to break into Kino's hut, but Kino drives him away. Juana tells Kino that the pearl will destroy them, but Kino insists that the pearl is their one chance and that tomorrow they will sell it. Kino's neighbors wonder what they would do if they had found the pearl and suggest giving it as a present to the Pope, buying masses for the souls of his family, and distributing it among the poor of La Paz. Kino goes to sell his pearl, accompanied by his neighbors, but the pearl dealer only offers 1,000 pesos when Kino believes that he deserves 50,000. Although other dealers inspect the pearl and give similar prices, Kino refuses their offer and decides to go to the capital to sell it there. That night, Kino is attacked by more thieves, and Juana once again reminds Kino that the pearl is evil. However, Kino vows that he will not be cheated, for he is a man. Later that night, Juana attempts to take the pearl and throw it into the ocean, but Kino finds her and beats her for doing so. While outside, a group of men accost Kino and knock the pearl from his hand. Juana watches from a distance and sees Kino approach her, limping with another man whose throat Kino has slit. Juana finds the pearl, and they decide that they must go away even if the murder was in self-defense. Kino finds that his canoe has been damaged and their house was torn up and the outside set afire. Kino and Juana stay with Juan Tomás and his wife, Apollonia, where they hide for the next day before setting out for the capital that night. Kino and Juana travel that night and rest during the day. When Kino believes that he is being followed, the two hide and Kino sees several bighorn sheep trackers who pass by him. Kino and Juana escape into the mountains, where Juana and Koyatido hide in the cave while Kino, taking his clothes off so that no one will see his white clothing. The trackers think that they hear something when they hear Koyatido crying, but decide that it is merely a coyote pup. After a tracker shoots in the direction of the cries, Kino attacks the 3 trackers, killing all 3 of them. Kino can hear nothing but the cry of death, for he soon realizes that Koyatido is dead from that first shot. Juana and Kino return to La Paz. Kino carries a rifle stolen from one of the trackers he killed, while Juana carries the dead Koyatido. The two approach the Gulf and Kino, who now sees the image of Koyatido with his head blown off in the pearl, throws it into the ocean.